Hey guys, and welcome back for another video. Today I'd like to talk to you guys about the Skyscale mount and the collection that you'll need to complete in order to unlock it, as well as some of the requirements that you may want to know about before you even get started. As many of you probably already know, the Skyscale has a pretty extensive collection achievement that you'll need to complete before you can actually ride this thing for yourself. And while for the most part there are 5 collection achievements you'll need to complete, there are sub-collections within each one of those 5 collections. For example, just for the first collection, or the newborn Skyscales, you'll need to complete Skyscale Scales, Skyscale Medicine, Skyscale Fever, and Skyscale Eggs. So you'll need to track down a total of 21 scales, and then you'll need to get some medicine from some vendors near the command-packed waypoint in Dragonfall. Then you'll need to track down 14 Skyscales so that you can treat them, and then you'll need to track down another 21 eggs just to finish out the first main collection. And keep in mind there are 5 of these that you'll need to complete before you have the mount for yourself. The objectives for each one of these collections will vary based on which one you're doing. So as we talked about, the newborn Skyscale has you tracking down some 6 Skyscales, some scales, as well as some eggs, and you do this all in Dragonfall. But as you move on to saving Skyscales and beyond, you're going to spend more of your time out in Corteria or the other Living World Season 4 maps. There you might find yourself purchasing items from certain vendors, and at the same time you might even find yourself doing some world bosses or jumping puzzles to complete some of the later collections. So what should be coming obvious is that the first requirement for the Skyscale is a good amount of your time. As far as other requirements, of course you'll need Path of Fire as you're unlocking a mount, and you'll need Path of Fire to unlock any mount in Guild Wars 2. And unlike some of the collections we've seen in the past, this will require the whole of the Living World Season 4. As many of you already know, each one of the Living World maps is going to have its own currency, and you'll actually need 250 of each currency from each map in the Living World Season 4. Outside of these basic requirements, you're also going to need a fair amount of gold, and that just depends on how you plan to go unlocking this mount. A lot of players were hoping for a cheaper alternative to the 250 gold required for the Griffin, and if you just go about things normally, meaning you don't use gold to complete any of these achievements early, which is something you can do, you will still need about 41 gold just from vendor items you'll need to purchase around the map. Now 41 gold isn't all that bad, and I'm not even certain this is the total value, it's just what I've seen so far. But as I just mentioned, there are ways to bypass some of these collection achievements that can be done with gold to speed things along. In some of the later collections, you'll need to craft items out of some charged quartz, and if you guys don't already know, charged quartz can only be crafted once per day. So right there, if you don't intend to use any gold at all and you don't have any charged quartz, this is going to take you a minimum of 43 days to get all those materials together. The items you'll need to craft out of charged quartz are some Skyscale food, some extra pungent Skyscale food, as well as a grow lamp. And as per usual, you will be able to purchase all of these items off the trading post, but they aren't exactly cheap, and the price tends to rise as more and more people go for this collection. Let me just specify that only the grow lamp and the Skyscale food itself are required in order to complete these collections. The extra pungent Skyscale food is an item you can use in order to bypass a collection altogether, and that's the collection involving world bosses and jumping puzzles, so depending on how you feel about that kind of content, you may want to purchase these items. Unfortunately, I won't be able to give you a gold total, as the price will vary based on how many people go for this collection and how many people decide to craft these items for players still trying to catch up. Now on to the elephant in the room, or the thing that players are most upset about involving the Skyscale collection, and that's that each one of these collections is gated by the daily server reset. So for instance, if you complete the newborn Skyscales collection, you won't be able to move on to the saving scales collection until the next day. Now, as of making this video, they have stated that they will be changing this moving forward, and as of May 28th, instead of 24 hours, you'll just need to wait 2 before you can move on. Additionally, when you feed your Skyscale, you'll need to feed it about 12 times, as I mentioned earlier, but you'll only be able to feed your Skyscale about 3 times per day, and it looks like they're going to change that to 4 times per day, removing 1 full day of waiting. Since these changes will be coming in just next week, I will be talking about them in the guide as such, and the guides that I'll be making for the Skyscale are a little bit different from my normal guides, so let me explain the differences. Firstly, rather than speeding up all the footage, I will let things play out in a regular time. I usually speed up these portions of the video, and I feel like you might be able to gain something or play along with the guide if I play it out in real time. The Newborn Skyscales collection takes place in the new map Dragonfall, and if you played this map at all, you'll know that there's basically every single mastery in the game available in this map, but to make these guides as accessible as possible, I'll only be using the Jackal, Springer, Skimmer, and Raptor to complete each one of these collections. Rather than guiding you to each one of the scales or eggs from a waypoint, instead I'll start you at a waypoint and try to guide you through several of those collection items, both to save on waypoint cost and honestly just to make things a little bit more fun when collecting these items. The last thing I'll make mention of, and just something you can work on in the meantime if you don't quite have enough time to finish a collection achievement or you just need a break from the whole endeavor, you will need about 12 mastery points to unlock all of the Skyscale's abilities, and if you're just starting this collection, that's obviously quite a while away, but I do want to make mention of it here so that you don't unlock the Skyscale and not have enough mastery points to really enjoy all of its abilities. But anyway guys, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover here today. I just wanted to let you know about the Skyscale collection achievement, some of the requirements, and I did want to tell you about the changes I'll be making in the guides going forward. When this video goes up, the first video on collecting the scales will go up with it, and I'll make sure to continue doing that as each one of these collection videos comes out. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.